वन्दे देवमुमापतिं सुरगुरुं वन्दे जगत्कारणं वन्दे पन्नगभूषणं मृगधरं वन्दे पशूनां पतिं वन्दे सूर्यशशाङ्कवह्निनयनं वन्दे मुकुन्दप्रियं वन्दे भक्तजनाश्रयं च वरदं वन्दे शिवं शङ्करं वन्दे भक्तजनाश्रयं च वरदं वन्दे शिवं शङ्करम्. Let us chant Namah Shivabhyam Navayauvanabhyam Parasparashlishtavapurdharabhyam Namah Shivabhyam Navayauvanabhyam Parasparashlishtavapurdharabhyam Nagendra Kanya Vrishaketanaabhyam Namo Namah Shankara Parvatibhyam Nagendra Kanya Vrishaketanaabhyam Namo Namah Shankara Parvatibhyam. So here in the opening verse, we saw a beautiful expression describing the inseparable nature of Shiva and Parvati. Naturally, they are inseparable. And who are the they? One is Nagendra Kanya, one who is the daughter of Himavan, Himalaya, the snow-capped Himalayan mountains. And the other is Vrishaketanaha, the one who has the bull as his flag. And so here, why you are giving such an importance to the flag, the bull flag? Because Nandi the bull, he represents justice. He represents dharma. In the devotion towards Lord Shiva, we must always remember that there will always be justice. Cosmic justice will ever prevail. And this flag with Nandi, the bull, represents that justice. In fact, Nandi, the bull, is himself, he is a great exalted devotee of Lord Shiva. And he represents purity. It's a white bull. Represents purity and justice. And he is the head of these, the 18 siddhas that are talked about, He is the head. He is the one who is also the guru of the 8 disciples. So, Sanaka, Sanandana, Sanatana, Sanat Kumara, Tirumular, Vyagrapada, Patanjali, Shiva Yoga Muni, these are Nandi's 8 disciples. And he is said to be the guardian of the entrance to Kailash. So Nandi is one who represents justice, dharma, and he symbolizes what? That dharma will ever prevail in the land of the Lord Shiva. And so the Dhwaja is the flag, Vrishadhwaja. And then he moves on with more descriptions of Lord Shiva and Parvati. Let us see verse number 2. Namah Shivabhyam Sarasotsavabhyam. Namah Shivabhyam Sarasotsavabhyam. Namaskritabhishtavarapradabhyam. Namaskritabhishtavarapradabhyam. Namah Shivabhyam Sarasotsavabhyam. Namaskritabhishtavarapradabhyam. Namah Shivabhyam Sarasotsavabhyam. Namaskritabhishtavarapradabhyam. Narayane Narchitapādukābhyam. Narayane Narchitapādukābhyam. Namo Namah Shankara Parvatibhyam. Namo Namah Shankara Parvatibhyam. Narayane Narchitapādukābhyam. Namo Namah Shankara Parvatibhyam. Narayane Narchitapādukābhyam. Namo Namah Shankara Parvatibhyam. So here, Namah Shivabhyam. So when it is said Shiva, it is Shivaha and Shiva. It is a Lord and the Goddess. So, how do you know the Shiva represents both? Because the affix in that word is Bhyam. So, Bhyam is the fourth case dual. So, Shiva, Bhyam means Shiva and Shiva. Lord Shiva and Parvati, both. Namaha. Namaskaram to both of them, who was represented by one word, Shiva. And Sarasotsavabhyam. It's a very interesting word. So Sarasaha Utsavaha Yayoho. So their love, the love between them, their love is a time of celebration. So Sarasaha Utsavaha Yayoho. So whose togetherness is something to rejoice. It is their togetherness that brings this creation. It is their togetherness that is a source of joy for us. In Tamil Nadu, the biggest festival of Tamil Nadu in South India, the state where we are sitting here, the biggest festival is Kartigai Deepam. And this Kartigai Deepam is a festival, biggest, largest, it is bigger than Deepavali. And this festival represents something very beautiful. If you know the story, it's really, really beautiful story. So it is said when Parvati came once, she had to come away from Kailash, away from Lord Shiva. So she moves, and when she moves away means comes to earth. And so she comes to Kanchipuram in Tamil Nadu and takes this form in the human form, and now all she wants is to be one with the Lord Shiva again. And when she is in Kanchipuram, she makes a Shivalinga called Ekambreshwara. So she makes this Shivalinga with mud and worships him there And a time comes when Tiruvannamalai is not far from Kanchipuram. She gets a message from Lord Shiva saying, I have manifested here and kindly come to Tiruvannamalai. And the goddess, as a devotee, she comes to Tiruvannamalai. She stays in Agastya Muni's ashram there. Even today you have an Agastya ashram. It's an old ashram. That whole area was Agastya Muni's place in the foothills, in the base of Arunachala Shiva. So Parvati stays there and continues her prayer sadhana to be one with the Lord. And Lord Shiva tells her, when the time comes, I will take you. And the day when the time comes, when the right moment has come for Parvati to become one with Lord Shiva, well, that evening it is said, a light moved towards Arunachala and became one with the hill. And that light which became one with the hill is called the Kartigai Deepam. And so in every Tamil Nadu home, people will light this lamp at 6 p.m. sharp on Kartigai Deepam day, because that is the day, that is when Goddess becomes one with Lord Shiva again, and he is called Ardha Narishwara. Ardha means half, Nari is female, Ishwara is male. So he becomes half and half, 50-50. So Goddess has become one with him, and that is the day of the largest celebration. And therefore, Sarasotsavabhyam, O Lord, you becoming one with the Goddess, being declared as Ardhanarishwara, is to see you in that form. Because as Ardhanarishwara, the cosmic being includes all. There is nobody excluded, Otherwise, you keep on saying he. You are, remember, excluding 50% of humanity or 50% of the life forms on earth, because they are all female. And so here, when Lord is Ardhanarishwara, he is both the male and the female. So Namah Shivabhyam Sarasotsavabhyam Namaskrita Bhishta Varapradabhyam. So people, your devotees, so they worship you. They do namaskara to you, they surrender to you. They come to you in asking. And what do you do? Abhishta Vara Pradadati. So Abhishta Varan Pradadati. The most desirable boons Lord Shiva gives to his devotee. How does he give? You just go to him and do one prayer and he will give you your most desired result? No. He doesn't just give out results just like that arbitrarily. But because you have prayed, your prayer is a karma. That karma will have a result, and he is the giver of the results of your action. In other words, the Lord is called Karma Phala Data. Karma Phala Data means the giver of the results of one's action. Everything I experience in my life, expected, unexpected, differently expected, it is all nothing but the result of our own karma coming back to us. Who would have ever thought 5 years ago, if somebody asked you a 5-year plan, what do you plan to do next 5 years? I'm sure you had a great agenda presented to those who asked. And in that agenda, was there a lockdown? A corona virus lockdown period? Who knows what is going to be what's coming up next? Who knows? Nobody knows. We don't know. So when we don't know, we need to learn to live in trust, is it not? I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So what are you going to do about it? Am I going to be upset? Am I going to get frustrated? Am I going to get angry? Am I going to be negligent? Am I going to be careless? Like so many people in the US today are so careless. There is some trend where people think that corona is only for the old people. And when many are interviewed, they say, we are not going to see our grandparents. We'll be okay. Hundreds of thousands have started going to the beaches and want their summer, don't want to lose their opportunities for a tan, so on and so forth. People, and without the mask, violating. This is karma. What consequence will come out of this? If they think there is no consequence, that is really, really silly. Because every karma will have a consequence appropriate to that karma at that time. Why? Because the omniscience is right there, alive. His laws are working all the time. And He is the giver of the fruit of every action. And therefore what? Every action that I do, I must do wisely. I must do with a lot of thinking and also trust. I have done my part. I will be looked after by the divine. The trust is very important when dealing with the unknown. When I don't know what the future holds, either you can fear or you can trust. Which one do you prefer? I mean, what a choice. All of us want to trust. The problem with us is we don't know how. You will know how only when you hear His stories, when you can glorify Him, when you can believe that the divine is there taking care. And this inner discovering the devotee in you, a trusting devotee in yourself, the more and more you cultivate that attitude, you will relax with the unknown. Otherwise, the unknown makes us panic because we feel we are not in control, which is a truth. We are not in control of any situation. We can think the best and do the best, but that doesn't mean at all that we are in control of our situation. And therefore, we do our part and leave the rest to the divine. And so here he says, Namaskrita Bhishta Varapradabhyam. He is one who gives this vara as a karma phaladata, as a giver of the fruit of actions. Through his laws, he gives each one of us what is due to us. And then he says, Narayane Narchita Padukabhyam. So in many of these mythological stories and the historical poems like Ramayana, we find very beautiful episodes in which we know about the cosmic being as a trinity, isn't it? Lord Brahma, Lord Vishnu, Lord Maheshwara. Here it is said, Narayanena Archita Paduka. Lord Shiva and Goddess Parvati were worshipped by Lord Vishnu himself. So of the three trinity, one worships the other. Narayanena Archita Padukabhyam. So it is very beautiful, to see that Lord Shiva and Parvati's Paduka, their feet are worshipped by Lord Vishnu. So many stories are there where Lord Vishnu worships Lord Shiva in different incarnations. And here, like Rameshwara Mahadev, Rameshwara Mahadev. In the southern tip of India, we have an old ancient temple called Rameshwara temple. So Rameshwara is Shivalinga. And this Shivalinga was worshipped by Lord Rama, an incarnation of Lord Vishnu. Not only that, we also hear of stories where you have Gopeshwar Mahadev. So Gopeshwar Mahadev is Lord Shiva as gopis. He enters the Ras Krida, the dance of Lord Krishna with the gopis on the full moon night of Sharat Purnima, the autumn night, on the banks of Yamuna river. And thus we have different examples. Parashurama, he was an incarnation of Lord Vishnu. He was a great devotee of Lord Shiva. And so in different incarnations, Lord Vishnu worshipped Lord Shiva. Narayanena archita padukabhyam namo namah shankara parvatibhyam. My repeated salutations to Lord Shiva and Parvati. And then comes the next verse. Namah Shivabhyam Vrishavanabhyam. Namah Shivabhyam Vrishavanabhyam. Virinchi Vishnindra Supujitabhyam. Virinchi Vishnindra Supujitabhyam. Vibhuti Patira Vilepanabhyam. Vibhuti Patira Vilepanabhyam. Namo Namah Shankara Parvatibhyam. Namo Namah Shankara Parvatibhyam. So Namah Shivabhyam. Oh Lord Shiva and Goddess Shiva. Vrishavanabhyam. For both of you, your vehicle is the Vrishabha, the white bull. Again, why white bull? Because white bull represents cosmic justice. So dharma adharma dhyakshaha. White bull with Lord Shiva and Parvati, that form represents cosmic justice. And so, salutations to Lord Shiva and Goddess Shiva, who have mounted this white bull, which represents justice. And then he says, Virinchi Vishnu Indra, Vishnu and Indra, Supujitabhyam. So Virinchi cha Vishnu cha Indrascha Taihi Supujitabhyam. The one who is beautifully worshipped by who? By Virinchi. Virinchi refers to Brahma, Vishnu refers to Lord Vishnu, and Indra refers to the Lord of Heaven. And so here, both Lord Vishnu and Lord Brahma worship Lord Shiva. Why? Again, this story is connected to Tiruvannamalai Arunachala Shiva. And the story goes that these two powers, in the form you find, this is mythology, okay? In the form you find Mahavishnu laying in this milky ocean on a serpent bed, and from his navel emerges Lord Brahma on a lotus. And the two of them both are the Trinity, part of the Trinity deities. So there is a message here. When he emerged, Lord Brahma saw Lord Vishnu lying there on the serpent, and he thought, I am the creator, and in front of me who dares lie down? This is very disrespectful. He should be prostrating to me because I am bigger than him. And Lord Vishnu, from his navel when Brahma came, Brahma stayed in his place but never acknowledged or prostrated to Lord Vishnu. Why? Because Lord Vishnu thought he is come from me, he should be prostrating to me. I am the progenitor, but he does not prostrate to me. I am greater than him. And so while these two were both thinking, I am greater than him, there appeared a column of light between the two of them, and they were surprised. They had not seen anything like that, and they thought they should find out where this light came from, where is its beginning in the skies, where is its ending. And so Lord Brahma decided to go up and told Lord Vishnu, I'll find out where the beginning is. Lord Vishnu said, I'll find out where the end is. Brahma becomes a swan and Lord Vishnu becomes a boar. And after some time searching, digging deep into the earth, Lord Brahma flying high, both of them returned. Both of them could not find the beginning or the end. But when Brahma saw Lord Vishnu, because of that ego, he did not want to admit defeat. And he said, well, I know, I saw the beginning. It was not true. He did not see any beginning. And Lord Shiva, in that form of light, he reveals himself and says, you need not go anywhere. But Brahma, you lied. You did not know, you did not see, and you lied. And therefore, hereafter, nobody will worship you. And Brahma seeks forgiveness from Lord Shiva. And because he repents for his wrong action, Lord Shiva consents to give Lord Brahma a position in the Vedic rituals. And therefore, without Brahma as a witness in the Vedic rituals, the rituals are not done. And so Lord Shiva came as a column of light, and after he arrives in Tiruvannamalai, he asks Kanchipuram Parvati to also come. And so here he says, Virinchi, Vishnu and Indra, the god of heaven, all of them, what? Pujita Abhyam, they worship Lord Shiva. Vibhuti Patira Vilepana Abhyam. He is one who applies, Vilepanam is application. What does he apply? Vibhuti, the ash, the holy ash. Sometimes this word is taken as animadi, siddhis. But here we will take it as vibhuti, as what? The holy ash. So his side is the holy ash and her side is what? Is Patira. Patira means gold. Gold. Shine. She not gold, sandal. She shines with the sandal paste. So he has ashes and she wears sandal paste. Vibhuti Patira Vilepanabhyam, anointed with ashes on one side and sandal paste on another side. We have Lord Shiva and Parvati. Namo Namah Shankara Parvati Bhyam. My salutations to the Lord, who is Lord Shiva and Shakti. And with this, we complete the second verse. More in the next class. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om.